Mm. Hello and welcome to Jumpsuit Utopia. Today, well, Sophia and I are in the same place. Yes, that's right. I'm Esri. And who's this? You don't know?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I'm Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, we're in the same place where we got to witness an episode. We got to witness an episode together. And joining us. Oh,
Oh, that's it. That's all.
okay.
Yeah.
Joining us is Kyle Thompson from General Intellect Unit.
Hey.
Hey.
We watched the very dramatic and impactful 5th episode of the first season of Picard, Stardust City Rag. I don't know if I will ever be able to start an episode of Star Trek again without reflexively hiding my eyes. Damn you, Jonathan Frakes. I know this is like a utopian whatever podcast, but I would feel remiss if I didn't discuss the eye trauma at the beginning of the episode. Oh my dear God. The episode just basically starts off with a torturous vivisection of a Voyager character, a minor Voyager character. Chakotay lives to Akuchamoya another day. But unfortunately,
Animal spirits bless.
yes, animal spirits bless. I was very happy about this. As you know, I was not in favor of fridging Chakotay, and I'm only the vice president of the Don't Fridge Chakotay club. The president is sitting right next to me.
It's me. Don't fridge Chakotay.
Don't fridge Chakotay.
Make a real Native American character.
Thank you. On the other hand, one of the adoptive XB children that season 6, which by the way, I'm in Voyager season 6. I know Icheb. Okay. Icheb apparently got to join Starfleet and then was stripped for parts. So, oof. Yeah, we see an eye
Implant.
yeah, those like Borg eye implants. We just see one of those just get ripped right out of his face, and then Vajazzle, or whatever her name is, like cuts it.
Vajazzle.
Like it's like clearly not like a regular human eye, but still, she's like cutting it with like fucking dull Cutco scissors or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just oof. I'm not a huge fan of a wanton of violence, and if Tom were here, I wonder if he would approve or not approve.
Tom is a wild card. He could go either way in these kinds of things.
Tom is a wild card.
Yeah.
But all the same, it was effective. I'm not saying it wasn't effective. Just you could do a behind the back shot with some screaming. That would do it. That would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a more stomach for that kind of stuff, and that it was still a bit much for me. You were going to say something, Kyle?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not often that you get like a vivisection on TV, especially in a show that's not really billed as a horror show, right?
Yeah.
I squirmed a bit. It wasn't too rough, but like, I think the scene was over very fast, thankfully. And I think that kind of reduced its impact for me a little bit, maybe in a good way. If they had built up to the vivisection, that would have been real rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, as you said, it was effective. It not only made me feel like the consequences of who this person is, especially as the episode continues, but it also made me feel like the galaxy is not a safe place. This isn't your papa's Star Trek. This isn't your papa's Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah, quite literally.
It's things are not right, and that was kind of like it was a subtext, not super subtle, but it wasn't like the main theme of the episode, but one of the things I definitely took home was that like shit's really bad. It's like really fucked up right now in the Federation canon, and 7-9 kind of represents the chaotic good response to that, whereas Picard is the lawful good response. Probably
Yeah.
one of the few lawful goods we still have. It's true.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit neutral good, you know, it's lawful in a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. That's a good point.
Yeah, Kyle and I were talking a little bit briefly that this whole episode seems like a sort of discourse on various themes. In humanism, you have, as an overview of the themes, we have Free Cloud, which is this libertarian market dystopia.
Personal freedom. We ensure your personal freedom here.
Yes, your personal freedom above all else. You know, taken as absolute bourgeois liberty, which, just let them do whatever they want. What could possibly go wrong?
Don't even worry about it. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, there's the aspect of the recovery of humanity after being assimilated by the Borg. There's, I don't know. And then there's also like the plot with Maddox and Agnes Jurati, which takes a surprising turn, you might say.
Yeah, I found this show to be very by the numbers for the most part, and that still surprised me. They foreshadowed it, a fair bit in this episode, but I did not see it coming up until this episode.
I didn't notice the foreshadowing until the second watch at all.
Yeah.
Even like right up until like, the moment she did it, like the scenes before that more obvious foreshadowing, but even then, because they do a really good bait and switch along with the foreshadowing. Like the secret was that Agnes and Maddox were lovers.
Right.
That was a secret. Classic, as you put it, graduate school romance.
Yeah. She is like, her mentor and stuff.
It's a little, not great. We could see that power relations in the academy remain fucked up in the future.
But it'd be fine if Maddox was a Marxist. Everybody would be okay with it then. Nobody would question it.
Yeah.
The spirit of 68 lives in the Federation.
Oh, God. That's really why he's on the run. That's why I went to Free Cloud. Like a data students.
Oh, Lord.
We don't believe in natural rights, but we do believe in allowing the age of consent.
Oh, God.
I guess we should just start talking about Free Cloud. And, it's a pretty classic cyberpunk dystopia.
Yeah.
It is the Mass Effect 2 dystopian space station that I anticipated, right down to having 7 of 9 as the cop cleaning up the mean streets. So glad I nailed that prediction.
You got a couple of predictions right in this episode, but we'll get to this other one later.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, Kyle will be pleased.
I'm still disappointed we didn't get the awkward dancing scene with Picard.
Oh yeah, it was still awkward, but
different way.
It was pretty cute, awkward.
Yeah.
There's a couple great, just like this episode's laden with references. There's some great like stuff in the background, like Mott's hair emporium. Mott being the barber from the Enterprise.
Yes.
Apparently he's really famous. So much so he left Socialist Utopia to go slang his wares.
To make super cuts.
Oh God, I hope we never have to deal with super cuts again.
Rotor.
Who's lingering in the Enterprise bureaucracy for too long. We trusted him. We enter some crazy ass nightclub in Free Cloud. We get some holographic angel wings, which if you're on like
pretty rave.
If you're on like 5 space drugs, that's got to be like
Yeah,
really push it over the edge.
totally.
We have like our dress up section where all of our characters, dress up like space pimps, basically. That was fun.
Yeah.
Picard has an eye patch and a crazy French accent. Yeah, we finally hear him.
Very funny. I like the French accent in the first episode was terrible, and then in this episode, I'm glad they came back to it and played it for comedic effect.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I also like that, or I don't know if I like it, but it's noteworthy that Eldor is incapable of understanding role playing.
Because he can't lie.
Yeah. But he's not Vulcan. He shouldn't be able to lie.
That's true.
I guess the path of absolute canter.
Yeah, you just got to be you,
Yeah. And
it really doesn't work in that setting.
Yeah.
Are
we still pretending?
That was really wholesome.
Yeah. Especially in this episode where you're like,
yeah. Well, in the last episode too, he was such like a dour, serious character, and now it's just like, I am a child.
I'm Elmore.
He's just gone right over to being Warfish.
Yeah.
It's kind of doesn't pick up on the social cues,
Yeah, I'm capable of holding my own in combat, capable of great violence, but also I'm not quite sure what to do here.
Yeah.
We'll maybe pick up some of the nerdy Agnes energy that seeped out of Maddox's lifeless body at the end of this episode. Yeah, we need our Grey's Anatomy character. And
sorry, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen a single episode of Grey's Anatomy, but I'm here for it. Apparently. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I guess more Free Cloud business.
Well, the thing with Free Cloud that like the ad talking about Free Cloud to begin with, promoting it as a place of financial security, gambling, a lot of good times, absolute personal freedom. You don't get that in the Federation, right?
And then laws.
Yeah, and then you pull into a little bit closer, and people have the personal freedom to be subjected to invasive holographic advertisements. One that is punching Girardi.
Oh yeah.
What Picard got one for some showgirls or something?
Well, for a tea service, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Tea service.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm making air quotes, by the way. Say tea service. By the way, drinking delicious Earl Grey.
We're drinking Earl Grey.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. It took me 5 weeks to get it, but I did get it. Let's see.
So the tea, and then I don't know. I just found that hilarious, and also that's basically our role. We don't have invasive holographic ads, but if they could, they would.
Oh, absolutely! Yeah. As soon as AR becomes a common technology, that will be the world we live in.
Yeah, the augmented reality, holo projections.
Yeah. Got to pay an extra $40 to install your AR ad blocker.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So they all had tailored ad profiles because Picard's was tea, Girardi's was robots.
Rafi's was drugs.
Yeah, some snake leaf.
Come get some legal drugs.
Yeah, because hey,
it's Free Cloud, baby.
It's Free Cloud, baby. It's free,
right?
Yeah, this is one of the first times we've gotten an extended discourse maybe on fake freedom or, absolute personal liberty. In Star Trek, there's definitely that stuff with Ferengi, and to a limited extent, the Delta Quadrant has some of this, but for the most part, individual liberty is associated with the Federation, right? The values of individual liberty are associated with essentially post-capitalist or communist utopia or whatever you want to call the Federation. It's utopia. Part of it is individual liberty, and it's pretty rare that you get a critique of it in those terms. It's usually thought of as for the Ferengi, it's usually a critique of greed, or something. It's not usually in the language of the libertarian, the right libertarian.
Yes, absolutely. I think, it's not really a sustained critique, but it's definitely there. I guess a lot of it seems like pulled out of the Minority Report AR advertising from the movie. But I guess I think the most effective one was Rafi's ad, because it's like, this is someone who's struggling.
Yeah, that's
with
really
addiction, and the advertising is playing on that, and that felt very real. To the way that advertising manipulates people today. And I was kind of wondering also if there's like a clause in your docking arrangement with FreeCloud where you cannot ad block these advertisements. You've entered into a contract. It's absolute personal liberty.
Absolute freedom.
You signed the contract even though you had no choice.
Right.
Yeah, it's your EULA for entering FreeCloud, right?
Yeah, feels about right.
Oh God. Yeah.
I like when she sweeps the ad
knocks it
aside.
off.
Yeah, she knocks the hologram over.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
It's surprising that if they have advertising profiles, I guess the robot, Gerard, they know Gerard isn't a robot.
Yeah. Like, when robots are for killing and combat,
Right.
Because everyone's afraid of robots.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you can have them. Come kill robots.
Right.
They said they were hiring. Yeah. Like, you work in robots, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you come on to me? I mean, and honestly, if this whole thing hadn't turned her life upside down, maybe she'd be like, I can't really pursue my research at Starfleet anymore. So
about as close as I could get.
Right.
Making punchable robots.
Yeah, like as if, unfortunately, whatever Admiral O or Commodore, whatever Commodore O told her, she is never going to build a robot again. Seems like.
I mean, that's a whole aspect we haven't talked about personally. The devastation of her life work being just absolute devastating. There's nothing good that she's done with her life. Everything she's devoted it to has just been. And we'll circle back around to that, I guess. Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about with FreeCloud is when they get in, actually, it's a scene before they get there. They're talking about no, it was when Rios gets there. Rios is acting as a go-between between a buyer for Maddox and the Jazzle girl, and he's talking to her thug, and one of the references is Quark. That's the first Deep Space Nine reference we got.
Yeah,
it was really funny. I liked it a lot.
Deep Space Nine actually happened.
It actually happened.
Good stuff. Yeah, Rios helped
Quark
with the Breen.
Quark is still a crime lord.
Yeah, they could have taken care of him back in Deep Space Nine, but nope, still at large. Rios helped Quark with the Breen,
right?
So that's a little wink at the post DS9 world,
right? There was also I was speculating with Esri that I wonder if Quark is just like on contract with the Federation to act like as someone who vouches for their intel
he's
people.
He's a narc.
Yeah, he's a narc.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? He's Quark.
Quark
if they pay him well
definitely
enough,
be a narc. Yes.
Yeah.
Just give him enough Latin and he'll do it.
He totally would.
Yeah.
Well, unless like end of Deep Space Nine, Quark is like. Why can't I think of anything other than piss ass mad? Just don't ask. He's very upset that Ferenginar has lost its values, that the Federation has corrupted it. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, and to the extent that he can't even mind his balance sheet intelligently anymore. I wonder to what degree he was looking for some independence from the Federation, or if he had a sense of loyalty and was getting his bread buttered. That seemed more like Rom though. Like,
oh yeah, no, Quark I don't think would give a shit about the Federation.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he really cares that much. I think that's kind of the game he plays, like with Odo. Like he doesn't, he doesn't really hate Odo, It's just, he has to LARP Frankie.
Yeah.
So that's what he's doing. And it's not even that he doesn't believe in it. It's just that he doesn't believe in it that much. It's kind of his thing.
It's some definite like Zizek ideology stuff. Like, you don't believe, but then you perform it, so you do functionally believe, and you have this relationship to your ideology at this distance.
Yeah. It's insidious.
Yeah.
Like Coca-Cola or root beer.
Yes.
Root beer.
Yeah, like root beer. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Chocolate laxative. Classic objective Zizekian philosophy.
Oh my god.
All right.
The sad part is I know you're not joking.
No. He brings it up like every fucking time he has a public appearance.
I think he just wants people to think about chocolate laxatives.
Yeah,
So I wanted to segue a bit to Seven of Nine's character and the, let's say, legal arrangement or lack thereof in the Beta Quadrant along the neutral zone, which has, the former neutral zone, because that shit done collapsed.
Right.
So the Fenris Rangers are a, freelance police force, I suppose.
Vigilante group. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's in Picard's eyes, they're vigilantes, taking the law into their own hands. To which Seven of Nine says, "What law?"
Right.
Yeah.
We may be faced with another, good cop on Star Trek. How do we feel about this?
We already established that Odo was not actually a good cop, right? Because Odo wanted to beat up the Unionists.
Yeah.
That's true.
Damn.
So here's the thing.
I know,
So here's the thing. In Mad Max world, when you're just trying to help people and beat up warlords, it's not a cop. Prop up a state.
Okay.
There's no state to prop up there.
There's no special body of armed men.
No.
I kind of agree with that. Like, we don't see Seven of Nine doing things like protecting private property.
Right. That seems to be the only law that is on Free Cloud.
And she completely disregards it.
Yeah. She does not play.
I think she's all right.
Okay, because I want to tease out that usually vigilantes in
Batman
in fiction are reactionary.
Oh yeah,
like avatars that are cleaning up the scum. Yeah. But as partisans of the Federation, or at least Federation values,
right?
We're supposed to abhor the libertarian dystopia of Free Cloud. We all obviously don't really like organ harvesting all that much,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
not a huge fan. Like, if it's so libertarian that you're doing organ harvesting on the black market, or even just on the market, like black market, not so much. Like, go ahead and harvest those XBs, rake in a profit. Like, we're dealing with something that's even more corrupt and horrendous than most of the market dystopias that we know.
Right.
So even though there's the whole vigilante edge there, like, it's hard not to sympathize with Seven of Nine if you have the values of the Federation anywhere close to your heart.
7-9 is a good Christian. He did nothing wrong. She's responding more honestly and more real to the current state of politics and the Alpha and Beta Quadrant than Picard is. And that's kind of a theme that is drawn out towards the end. And she's right, honestly. You can't rely on the Federation to be a force for good, and the Federation being potentially a force for evil. Also, one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy, especially now that the Romulan Empire is gone. In a sense, it's kind of similar to like a post-Cold War narrative. Now that there isn't this great enemy, they're just kind of, for lack of a better term, decadent.
Mm.
Right. Yeah, I think the Fenris Rangers, like, yeah, they could potentially be a problem, but it doesn't seem like they are yet. I also think it helps that she's not a lone vigilante.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
it's not that Rorschach kind of narrative,
Yeah.
or Garrus from Mass Effect 2.
Right.
Like this, there is some kind of organization here. There's maybe like some possible prefiguration of community self-defense. You know, it could go either way, right?
Especially the Fenris Rangers are something that like any of the civilians who they're protecting can join. Obviously, they have to be vetted, but if anybody can apply to join, then you know, not bad, in my opinion.
I'd push back a little bit. Like, there's definitely a sense that this is a pretty desperate operation. That she almost sounds like an activist that's like trying to, you know, like save like the community garden or something. It's like, oh God, it's fucking thankless. I'm not even really sure why I do it anymore. I think might just be out of habit. But the only thing worse would be fucking giving up. Dagger eyes at Picard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That is true. There is an activist vibe about Seven of Nine.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's certainly it's to a degree like humanitarian, like about like trying to save, you know, people, but a lot of it's about duty because she can't really, you know, all the old like Starfleet calculus is pretty much gone. There's no greater option to do like collective, you know, harmony and liberation and whatever. Like, I mean, coming from the Borg, this must be like very upsetting. Like, you know, that, or, you know, let alone Starfleet, but, you know, the fucking Borg, like you go from the Borg where everyone's like an ant hive, you know, like working for the greater good in a crazy instrumental, like utilitarian, you know, there's nothing but order essentially. And here we have like, you know, Hobbesian anarchy, a true war of all against all, and an auction block for anyone who loses.
Yeah, that's got to be a huge mindfuck.
Yeah. The show. There's definitely a conversation between Picard and Seven of Nine about justice that runs through like the second half of the episode. And you can't kind of help but think that the show is coming down on Seven of Nine's side.
Yeah.
When Seven of Nine decides to do the revenge that Picard says, you know, you shouldn't do that. Like, you know, we should be like better than this or something, or, you know, there's another way or whatever. Like,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Is essentially what's communicated.
Yeah.
And I feel like if, you know, director Jonathan Frakes didn't show a scissor going through a Borg eye, like in the beginning of the episode, maybe it would be a little more ambiguous. But the fact that they not only gave you that, but then they gave you the flashback, you know, it's all you really needed maybe was that flashback in the conversation when she's talking about Icheb. Probably all you needed. But hey, why don't we really like make a lasting impact so that you want Jazel to die. You want that bitch to die. Like you just do as a viewer. Like, especially if you're a Voyager stan and you're hoping, I wonder how Icheb's doing. Hope he's doing well. Like,
nope.
You know,
not so much.
He was.
You know,
he joined the Federation. Things were working out great.
Starfleet. He's on the command division.
Yeah. He was doing all right for himself.
Yeah.
You know? He had a whole life. I mean, and just to talk a little bit about Voyager, like, I guess spoilers for Voyager. Icheb was genetically engineered by his parents to destroy the Borg, essentially, to get assimilated and then fuck up the whole Borg, like fuck up like whatever Borg cube he was put on. And so Voyager tries to return him to his parents. But then as they're leaving, they kind of like circle back around and see, I wonder, how they're doing. And they're sending him to the Borg. They've like put him on like a shuttlecraft to, go fuck up the Borg again, Icheb. Like that's what he was created for. He was designed to be assimilated. And Voyager saves him and a few other XB kids. But he's the oldest. And there's like a sweet relationship that 7 of 9 develops with Icheb. As part of her humanization plot in Voyager, she develops a friendship with the youngest member of Voyager, Naomi Wildman, who she always addresses in full name. And starts to kind of develop explicitly like maternal instincts in a way. And then, then they find some XB kids, and they basically become her adoptive children. It's really striking, not just, of course, fridging and chopping up one of those kids, but like that by the time you're in like season 6 of Voyager, 7 of 9 is like maybe more like sensitive and human in the sort of metaphorical sense of being like a feel, like a feeling, like reaching, like striving person.
You said she was warm earlier.
Yeah, she gets warm and is much warmer than the 7 of 9 that we encounter here in Picard.
In a way, making her more human, though, I would say.
Of course, but like to roll with this metaphor here, like the Jazel did more of a number on her humanity maybe than even the Borg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most effective thing about that whole plot was that, she's really, but Jazel's really presented as like a predator, like somebody who like manipulated her at a deep emotional level, and Icheb as well. So it's like, not only did the Federation abandon the people in this area, but like abandon them to, people who are really going to prey upon them in the worst possible way. Both use them as parts, but also like be very duplicitous and manipulative emotionally. And use all their best sentiments and desires against them. So I think that was really effective in showing like how bad this part of space is, and how like jarring that transition from the Starfleet organization to this Hobbesian anarchy was.
And I mean, Voyager is supposed to be in a Hobbesian anarchic situation outside the Federation. And you're supposed to get that same vibe when you're in Voyager. Like, God, we got to uphold Starfleet values. We got to like keep it together. That's Janeway's big task as a captain, is to prevent it from becoming the Equinox, and like hold everything together so that there's still like a command structure. There's still values. They don't become a ship of roving pirates. And I mean, 7 must be nostalgic for the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, totally.
And the kind of family that she had on Voyager.
And I guess that like it seems like the people like herself and Icheb who stayed behind in this area who were Starfleet like didn't even have like a ship. Like they didn't have like a Federation command structure anymore. They were just kind of isolated individuals who are volunteering and kind of being activists, right?
It wasn't 100% clear if Icheb was with the Fenris Rangers, or if the Fenris Rangers, like what their like connection to the Federation is.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I got the sense that they're probably like Federation to some degree. Like, where else would they come from?
We also kind of saw in like the previous episode how the Federation kind of like introduced a ton of entropy to this area, like by doing this half-assed refugee evacuation plan. So it's like, in some ways it was like even more destabilizing than the Bay Area would have been if it had just been the Romulan Star Empire collapsing.
Yeah, and you brought up a really salient and poignant point with the the kind of like manipulation that you're being exposed to out here. I mean, the obvious thing with Ichab is that as an XB, he's like an oppressed person. And there's a real world parallel to organ harvesting that would happen to someone that's undocumented or somebody that it just falls through the cracks. And, Seven trusting Vijayzal with Ichab. That whole thing is so monstrous and horrific. And it is only intensified by the revelation that there was a close personal relationship between Vijayzal and Seven, which is one of the first of its kind in Star Trek. It is highly suggested that they had a lesbian relationship, and of course in Star Trek, I mean, you can't have bisexuality without psychopathic murder, right?
Follows the mirror universe logic. In some ways, this episode very much felt like a mirror universe episode.
It did feel like a mirror universe episode, and the sexuality.
Camp.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said it had a lot of the camp in the comedy that you would associate with a mirror universe episode, but then as you're saying, it's also the sexuality stuff.
Yeah. Vijayzal could be like Mirror Kira, essentially. Oh, really? She's like a psychopathic, murderer, very instrumental, cruel and instrumental. Probably enjoyed doing that without an anesthetic. Mm-hmm. If she was purely instrumental, she could have used anesthetic.
Right.
It'd be easier. There's plenty of people like, go under and wake up in a bathtub without a kidney. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's, there's an element of cruelty here that is like, especially psychotic.
Also sexy as hell, physically.
Right. Yeah. But because you're primed with the fucking vivisection and torture, even before I knew that was her,
right,
or that she had anything to do.
Oh, you're not in the mood for anything.
No,
like that.
She's wearing something that looks like she's naked, but it doesn't matter. You're just like,
yeah. Definitely.
Let's see. Oh, you had a good note. Speaking more about retrograde attitudes to bisexuality. To retrograde attitudes to gender and sexuality. You had a good note about, let's see, more gender trouble. There is a subplot here, a B plot, a very affecting B plot, home to the second of the complete emotional like bombs dropped in this episode.
Yeah.
Where at essentially the fertility clinic, I forget what it's called, like the Free Cloud, I don't know.
Baby Emporium.
yeah. Free Cloud Child IKEA or whatever. Like,
it feels like a child IKEA. It really does.
Yeah.
Quark's Baby Emporium.
Come to Quark's. Quark's is fun. Come to Quark's.
Don't walk.
Run.
So there's a pink and blue neon babies crawling on the sign. The two genders,
neon blue and neon pink.
Yeah.
Well,
Free Cloud gives you the furthest horizons of libertarian freedom and deliberative choice, except when it comes to gender.
Rip.
Yeah, it's you're free to uphold 20th century gender norms.
Even Andorians, like explicitly, it's not even intersex. They just have like more than two sexes as like a regular thing. And but no, you can't have any Andorian babies.
No Andorians allowed on Free Cloud.
Nope. They disrupt gender too much.
Yeah, sorry, 1990s, like, critical theory on gender is way too far out for 2020 Star Trek. Like,
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and then also there's the gender assignment pre-birth that we see in this episode, right? Another pretty retrograde thing.
Coral.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have birth assignment of gender. We have the two genders. Maybe this is the neckbeard paradise, where like you can have everything except for another gender. Like this is like cyberpunk with human security system installed on your bits.
Oh god, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 is more progressive than this.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
they're at least willing to exploit your freaky gender.
Yeah,
like,
you could be you could be a man like the other Goyles.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Continues to be a mystery. Star Trek still soliciting spec scripts from freelance writers. That's still something you can do. If I ever submit one, it will be a secret history of why it is this way in Star Trek.
A secret history of why it be that way when you think it don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did World War III wipe out like gender freedom?
Yeah, all the Ubermensch, the genetic Ubermensch, like ran around destroying every copy of Gender Trouble they ran into.
Yeah. Well, if Khan Noonien Singh did that in the 1990s, I mean,
yeah,
he would be worshipped online. Like
Khan Noonien Singh is the neckbeard hero.
Quark Stan Singh, anti-SJW screeds. That's why he set up the baby emporium.
Yeah.
We forgot about Quark's vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a deeply misguided plot in Deep Space Nine, I was transgendered once. It was terrible.
Oh,
I detransition. I'm gonna rant about it and become a famous internet reactionary.
oh my god.
Oh god. The other thing in that scene that I thought was worth mentioning is that Rafi's son Gabriel has a Romulan trad wife.
He has the cut.
The cut. Another thing you could have on Free Cloud, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just trad rom. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, trad rom.
All the joking about the dystopia aside, like that scene between Rafi and her son was, oh god, really, really rough. Very realistic depiction of addiction and the struggles of like trying to rebuild your life. And also sometimes with some addicts, like they can be a little Alex Jonesy. It's not unheard of. I was at one point. The funny thing is that for that part of it, she's kind of right.
Yeah,
I know.
She's not wrong about that.
It's so heartbreaking because the show is about the conspiracy. Like it's true. Like, but
we get hard confirmation at the end of this episode that Rafi is right.
Yeah. But like, if you fucked up your kid's upbringing by being an addict that's obsessed with Tower 7, and then it turns out Tower 7 is, was blown up by the government or aliens or something, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
You probably just should zip it for the end of the conversation with your kid if you want to be in his life and in his kid's life.
Yeah, she couldn't help herself, and that part was like devastating. Like
so brutal.
But yeah. I think he kind of brought it, not blaming him, but he kind of like brought it out of her in the sense that like he kept poking at her, and she just got defensive and shut it down. I don't know, like it was really, I again, like another very familiar scene to me.
Yeah.
So
is heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they exchange where like he's testing her to be like, well, have you really changed?
Right.
and then she just blows up. Is like, oh, that was intense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know that's a good self-defense thing on his part, to be honest.
Yeah. You know, he's not wrong. I mean, his impulse for keeping her far away from his new family isn't even really wrong. That's the really tragic thing. Like sometimes, like with addicts, you got to keep them at arm's length.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They should still be, you know, not dehumanized and criminalized, but interpersonally, I think you gotta protect yourself. A little bit of a hot take.
No, that's the realist. So yeah, that's another in the Raffi needs a meeting column.
Yeah. Call your sponsor, Raffi.
Yeah, I formally rescind my comment. Smoke snake leaf every day. You probably should not do that. I now rescind this. All right.
I wonder if the ship psychiatrist was behind that door, you know, giving Raffi a conversation.
No one ever seems to take the EMH seriously.
Yeah.
Constantly taking it away. Raffi's the first scene with Rios. The first scene with Rios, he's like bleeding out, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here! I don't like you." And he's just like, oh, "All right, bye."
Kind of fits, yeah, because then that first scene with Rios, you know, Picard's like, I'm not in the habit of consulting anyone about what I do. And Rios is like, yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not in the habit of consulting anyone. You know, so like.
Emergency legal hologram, even?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Please state the nature of the legal emergency. Get the fuck out. Never get
it's a little bit Demolition Man is what that reminds me of. Yeah.
Yeah, like twice. Well, Dr. Girardi, actually, this episode, the EMH shows up like, why are you palpitating? And cortisol levels are high, and both times she sends him away immediately.
Yeah. That was good setup.
That was good setup.
So, like, just sort of, it's just kind of great. Please state the nature of the psychiatric emergency. Like,
right.
You know, like just appears because, you know, everyone's got an Apple Watch on. It's all got a Fitbit, you know. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, EMH
they have all your heart rates and stuff.
Not set up for murder. That's not something it's easily able to understand.
Should we just pivot into the Girardi Maddox thing?
Yeah. That's the other EMH, the emergency murder hologram. Yeah. I don't think Rios has
right.
The emergency murder hologram is just Rios.
Yeah. You only get that in Free Cloud.
Yeah.
If you want to collect the whole set, you gotta go to Free Cloud.
You gotta go to Free Cloud.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the very end, they save Dr. Maddox after Seven has her revenge on Vajazzle. That's where you get the cool the trailer scene with the two rifles.
Yeah, established. Those are phasers. Thought they were disruptors. They're dank phasers.
Yeah,
phasers set to kill.
Phasers set to vaporize. Phasers set to vape queen.
Yeah, yeah. Phasers set to mist. A fine mist.
Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, so after that, they are talking to Maddox. He's all fucked up from being captured, and you get the scene with Picard asking Maddox questions, and Girardi's in the background. And this is like some really more obvious kind of foreshadowing that we've gotten thus far. There has been foreshadowing throughout the episode, but somebody we know that she has strong feelings for based on an earlier scene where she's watching a holotape of them being smoochy and cute, and she's just distant, and she's just like, it's just off to the side listening to this conversation. And we get confirmation from Maddox that where Soji is, it's on the Borg artifact, and
she is on the Borg artifact.
She is on the Borg artifact.
Pronouns.
And the Romulans are most likely working with the Federation, and he says there are lies upon lies. And you see him walk away, and then a scene later, like, she fucking murders him. And what did she say?
I wish I didn't know what I know.
I wish you saw what I saw.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't know what I know. And
I wish they didn't show me.
Yeah. And so what my speculation is that Commodore O, we didn't see what Commodore O actually said to Dr. Agnes, right? Mm-hmm. So we see Commodore O approach her, and then we see Agnes approach Picard and shoots the Tal Shiar agent, or the Jacques Vache agent, and wants to join Picard's adventure. She admits to snitching.
Yeah.
She makes up for it by defending them, but really what she's there to do is to sabotage, as it turns out. And as she's pushing the buttons on the thing to fuck up Maddox, the EMH shows up. And he shows up for her at first.
Yeah.
What's the nature of a psychiatric emergency? Your cortisol levels are high. Your heart rate is incredibly high. And then he looks at her, looks at Dr. Maddox, and he's like, state the nature of your medical emergency. Like, he's like freaking out. And then he's like, he's dying. We need to do this, that. And then she deactivates him. Now, if she's a smart woman, she probably will know how to wipe the EMH's memory. But she is not an agent. She was shaking when she shot that Jacques Vache agent. Someone who would have killed these people would have killed her. And she's not a warrior. So I'm wondering if she's going to remember to actually wipe the EMH's memory. And if she doesn't, next time there's a medical emergency, that EMH is probably going to be like, look, I saw some shit. Like,
I mean, yeah. The first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, how far back does this go, Girardi? You know, getting in my heart with that Electro Gray and the Asimov and the Grey's Anatomy, how far back does this go? But ultimately, like, especially if you watch the episode like a second time with the knowledge at the end of the episode that, what's going to happen, she it doesn't seem like she's, hamming it up for the camera or something. She's playing it straight pretty much the whole time. And, she's like shaking when she has to like beam. She's like, oh, I don't know if they could like beam people. It's not like there's anyone around. They put the transporter duty on her and she's like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, no one's around for her to deceive. She's scared. Yeah. Bitch is scared.
Yeah, she's really scared.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only way she could, okay, so she is not like a transporter chief. She's not like an engineer. She's not used to doing that kind of work.
Yeah.
And so it's understandable that she wouldn't know a lot about transporting. Now, with that said, it isn't that hard. You swipe a thing. You get a lock and you swipe a thing. It's
that's the joke, right? The joke is that like Transporter Chief O'Brien is bored out of his mind, right? Sitting there doing the little swipe up to transport maneuver, right? And so it's just nerves, right?
Yeah, it's nerves. But why does she have so much nerves? Part of it, the reason you think is
right.
This is a mission, and they're depending on her for escape, which makes sense. But there's more to it. She's being a man that she loves, and a man she's going to have to kill. So the next thing this makes me think of is what was she told? And maybe they're right. Maybe fully, but like if the Soji thing, if Soji is the destroyer, right? Like, that's not small potatoes. And if they are trying to stop her destroying everything, then, if whatever they told Dr. Agnes, somebody who seems, generally speaking, like a good person, made her want to kill Maddox, her mentor and lover.
Yeah. And
we're dealing with something serious here.
Yeah. My theory on this is, so we know that Maddox did not know anything about the Destroyer prophecy, right? Like he was ignorant about that. He was just sending his androids out, the sisters out, to gather information on the conspiracy. I think that the whole prophecy here is probably that Soji is going to somehow reactivate the Borg and become the next Borg Queen, and wipe out the Alpha Quadrant. Which, I think, given the emphasis put on Picard's Borg past in this episode, kind of confirmed for me, this is going to be a major plot point going forward.
Right.
So I think that's why they're so concerned.
Damn. That's a good call.
That's a really good call.
Yeah, that's a really solid call. She's going to become like Lore in that one episode.
A little less silly than Lore.
Yeah. But God. Yeah. All right, I can see that. Yeah, you wonder how many lies upon lies we're getting here. Because, the Federation's in on this. There's, some kind of Romulan deep myth about the Destroyer. Girardi must have seen something that was really convincing for her to pull the plug on Maddox.
I feel like for both Girardi and the Federation, they would need something more than a Romulan myth to motivate this.
Right.
Especially when O is a Vulcan.
Right.
Yeah. So, brings up the question, are our heroes, naive and in the wrong, essentially?
But it also brings up the question that if that is what is happening, why work against them at all? I feel like the logical thing to do would be, once this is all discovered by Picard, is for the Federation and some Zot Vosh people to sit him down and be like, look, this is what Soji's going to do. And at that point, Picard will still want to do the humanitarian thing and let her have her life, right?
Yes.
There's still a conflict.
Right.
Yes.
So I feel like there's still
She's
something
still Data's daughter.
Right.
Still Data's daughter. And Picard has come back from being a Borg himself.
Right.
Struggled with his humanity.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to make the big humanist plea for Soji to come back from the brink.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a TNG episode. I think that's how it would play. There'd be some fighting at first, but then they would sit down and be like, look, this is what's going on, Picard. And Picard would be like, I hear you. Your concerns are valid. She's still a person. I could be turned back. So can her. And also, that's kind of why XBs are a major player, is because they represent that. They represent the lie that people can change. People can control their destiny. Soji isn't destined to become the Borg Queen or whatever they think she's going to become. She can change. She can be different. And that's also why people don't like the XPs, I think. The meta reason.
Yeah. I think what we're getting here is a setup for a plot that is angling towards, essentially, angling away from the normal kind of humanist Federation values that we know from 90s Trek and whatever. And then I'm guessing Star Trek Discovery, it's probably going to go, nah, just kidding. Actually, you can choose your fate or whatever, and blah, blah, blah.
I think it's significant that the first time that Dodge saw Picard, he was surrounded by the four lights in episode 1.
You're so right. Huh.
I think that's going to come back.
Yeah. In the teaser, we get a little shot of 2020 rendering of Locutus of Borg. There might be some kind of flashback kind of deal when at the loading screen of the next episode.
There might be a flashback. There might be, because he can. I wonder if he could still hear Borg thoughts, and I wonder if there's murmurs that he picks up on when he gets on the artifact. Obviously, they're not fully active, so maybe he hears Borg dreams.
Yeah.
Right. I think it is established in First Contact that he does.
Yeah, he still hears. Doesn't the Borg Queen whisper to him before she meets her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we finally get a nod towards, hey, Picard, you're an XP.
Yeah, you're right, Kyle.
Yeah.
Remember when you got assimilated, bro? Yeah, we finally get that nod. We get a fabulous conversation between Seven and Picard that is did you ever feel that you really recovered your humanity? Instant yes, all of it hesitant no.
Yeah. It's difficult to come back from something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of just wanted to like touch on that a little bit because, Picard is very much on the side of humanism here, as you would expect. That's like one of his core character traits and beliefs. I think like this manages to avoid being super aggressive about like cyborgs are less human than pure strain humans, right? Because the thing that's at stake isn't the body, right? Like there's never a suggestion that 7 of 9 is less human because she's more robotic or more synthetic, right? Like, it's established they go through a detail every single part of her body that has been replaced by the Borg and how she's more Borg than anyone else because she was caught as a jeune fille.
That's the time that this universe of thoughts ever comes up in like mirror universe Picard, like being, you cannot come back from this,
Yeah.
That's the only time that's explicitly stated as like, this is irreparable. You can't, you can't do it anymore.
But the honest conversation between 7 of 9 and Picard, it's more about your psyche. It's not about how robotic you are. And I think it avoids the trap that cyberpunk fiction like Shadowrun or numerous other cyberpunk properties fall into, where, having prosthesis or having a modified body is damaging your human essence, right? It's making like you were given an essence at birth and you are ruining that. Like I think that Cyberpunk 2077 is really driving in that direction too. This idea that being modified is something unnatural. And I'm really glad to see that this show didn't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah, it's the most trans-friendly part.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, body mods are great.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you had a guest on General Intellect Unit that was doing a sort of a non-binary guest that was doing a feminist read of some cyberpunk and kind of associated, swapping out body parts with a sort of masculinist distance from the body. And I think it was you, or was it Shane? I think it might have been you that pushed back on it. That I don't know if trans people feel that way.
Yeah.
Like maybe not so much with the naturalist holism there. Like, it's I don't know. Like, we don't have a situation. We're not presented with a situation where someone is doing a voluntary body mod. These are like one way or the other. Whether it's a collectivist install process. Excuse me. Whether it's a collectivist install process or a, hyper right libertarian extraction process, all of these modifications are going on in less than ideal circumstances without deliberative choice really playing into it. So maybe there's like a lot of angles untouched there. But I think ultimately you're right, Kyle, that this does a great job of, and it's really what's at stake is the humanity of cyborgs.
Yes.
I think the one place where there's I think like a counter example of that though in Star Trek is with that episode where Dr. Bashir is what's his name? Vedic Bareil. Vedic Bareil has a brain injury
in Deep Space Nine.
In Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
And Bashir has to replace part of the brain, and the more brain you replace with machine, the less human he becomes. And to a lesser extent, you get that with Ariam too. Ariam, they did a good job of really humanizing, but there is something off about her. And in fact, she's easily, her AI her machine parts are easily corrupted.
Yeah. And Discovery.
This is in Disco season 2, right?
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. That was the other episode that it really brought to mind for me was her character who was like semi-voluntarily became a cyborg, right? Like it was like an operation. It was
life-saving reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
And the same with, to a much lesser extent, with Lieutenant Detmer, who has the Borg-like ocular implant.
Right.
And there's an explicit discussion on how those things don't make you less human in Discovery. It's a conversation between Ariam and Detmer, or a kind of, I think it might be a eulogy. For
it was
Ariam.
a eulogy.
That Detmer gives.
Yeah. Hashtag they did Ariam wrong.
Yeah. Hashtag develop the character before you kill them, please.
Yeah.
Like not the same.
Yeah. It's like, we gave her a whole episode and a backstory in that episode.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got to do more than that.
Another Frakes. I mean, it was a good episode, but it was, sad.
Yeah.
It was too much.
And I think it's important to not blame Frakes for the writing. That's a writing problem, not a directing problem.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally.
The eye shit is Frakes, though.
The eye shit is Frakes.
Yeah. If you see First Contact, there's some. Yeah.
He has an eye thing. Eye fetish. Ew, Frakes. Come on,
man.
I know Riker's a freak, but come on.
For the amount of time they've zoomed into your eyes before, cutting to the commercial break. Like, leave eyes alone, man.
Yeah, well, I just had a family member who got LASIK eye surgery and talked about that experience, and I was like, I don't think I could do it because I'm sorry, I'm not going to get into it because it's probably upsetting for at least some of the listeners.
I mean, if you've seen this episode of Star Trek Picard, it's probably not the worst thing you thought about this week. I'm considering it. What's the deal with LASIK eye surgery? Maybe.
Oh, well, it's just that the from what I understand, the tool that's operating on your eye tracks with your eye movements, and they don't put you under for it, because otherwise it would be all screwed up because your eye moves very quickly, right?
Right.
So I was like, that's way too like Clockwork Orange for me. I can't. Yeah, because I would love to have it. It's just I don't think I can go through the procedure. Yeah.
With you there.
Yeah. So body mod's good. Operations. Yeah. Especially the eyes. It's just. Yeah, it's so much connected to your selfhood, and it's rough.
Yeah, I couldn't even do contact lenses, so this is all giving me a much greater respect for Drew Carey.
Yeah,
for the libertarianism stuff, but anyway.
Drew Carey, libertarian.
If we're up to Drew Carey,
babe, big time.
If we're up to Drew Carey, babe, the whole world would be free cloud.
Oh Lord.
The Dilbert guy, Scott Adams, Drew Carey, mayor and vice mayor of Free Cloud.
Yeah, like the Futurama, animated head of Drew Carey.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
We get a next episode. We get like a 20-minute conversation between Drew Carey, head in a jar, and Quark. It's going to be great.
Oh,
I know.
If only.
So, we all agree that Quark is going to be the first DS9 character on Picard.
I really hope so.
I hope so. I mean, if they're going to do a DS9 character, and again, we've established Worf and O'Brien don't count because they're from TNG.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I would like to get a scene between Worf and Elnor. That would be pretty amazing.
Amazing. That'd be
Also, I think O'Brien counts more as DS9 and TNG.
You feel that way?
O'Brien has some episodes, some bottle episodes in TNG.
I know what you mean.
But he's a DS9 character at the end of the day.
Like, he's really fleshed out. I'm just saying that he was introduced in TNG. So.
I don't know.
So the show, I'm just saying the show doesn't get brownie points from me. If they brought TNG like characters into DS9, they're like, look, we brought back a DS9 character.
No, that's
like,
true.
Show me Cisco. Show me Cisco.
Yeah. We just watched the DS9 documentary.
What We Left Behind.
It's really good. It's
I really want to watch that. And I was just thinking of like the ending as a Cisco ex machina just emerges from the wormhole. I'll take care of this.
It comes out like the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
it's Cosmic Marvel, baby. Let's go.
Unironically, I have been thinking, they have Cisco in their back pocket. They could do this at any time.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Picard is the best kind of set to talk to a god, but, whatever.
I mean, he's done it. He's done it several times.
He's done it before. It's just Cisco doesn't like him very much.
Yeah. Remember, he's a chief contact of the Q Continuum, but also, I got assimilated and sorry about your wife and stuff. And it would be I would love to see that conversation had in Picard land, Picard the show, 2020. Picard, like, see Avery Brooks God damn it,
You don't you think he'd be enlightened enough as like realized prophet to like let it go though?
Yeah,
that's probably the only time.
Unstuck from time, so I'm sure he'd be able to see the big picture.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. And geez, I wonder how long you can be in that wormhole, man. Come out whenever you want, like.
I mean, he's been in that wormhole for a minute and 100 years.
Yeah. Maybe in 20 years, maybe yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta watch that documentary though.
It's a good one.
They do like a pilot for season 8 of DS9.
They get the writers back together and do like a pilot for season 8. Yeah.
They don't film it. They sketch it, and
wow.
It's really interesting.
It's special.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil too much of that, but it's interesting to compare what they're going for there and the future that is Star Trek Picard, because they happen. If there was that story, their idea for season 8 is like following up 20 years or whatever, which is like basically how far we've gone out for Picard. Yeah. And so I was talking how much I would love it if they can incorporate some elements of that plot into Picard.
Yeah, that's as much closure as we're ever going to get for Deep Space Nine. So probably, unless, Picard episode 10, we got a big glowing, Cisco.
Just opens with the DS9 theme, Trump is going.
Oh my God, yeah.
Be amazing.
They did a Voyager theme this episode.
That was really good.
Theme.
Did we?
That was really good. Yeah,
behind
Seven of Mine's transporting.
Yeah, behind their conversation about like humanity and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's not like as recorded, but it's it's incorporating
the flourish.
Yeah, it's the flourish.
The leitmotif is there. Yeah.
Leitmotif from Voyager, which I've always loved the Voyager's theme. So
it's good.
Yeah. Welp. We're about 1:13 in.
Yeah, I think we gotta.
Yeah, my baby girl here got to catch a flight.
Meow.
Okay.
But
those are very hard. I know how that feels.
Yeah. But hey, we got to squish on camera in a PG way that won't get us kicked off of Twitch.
Hey.
And on for this episode of Jumpsuit Utopia, we should thank the chat. We've had kind of a jump in chat. So, yeah, gotta love that. Let's see. Oh, the most we got is from Dilla Stiza. I don't know how to pronounce that. Just a little combo. Let's see. Should I watch that stupid show? Said yes, please.
Voyager's underrated.
I think they're talking about Picard.
Oh, Picard is the show.
Yeah. Voyager is also underrated.
Yes.
Which of you is on Swampside Chats? Me, IS3. And then I was kind of a tanky before I started.
Yay!
And there's no higher praise than that.
Totally.
And see, also, the Picard guy plays a CIA director on American Dad. Things to know.
Which Picard guy?
Patrick Stewart?
Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart has done some guest voices.
Oh no, I did know that. That's right.
Patrick Stewart has done some guest voices on Family Guy. He played, they played versions of themselves on Family Guy or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, Seth MacFarlane's a big fan because he remade TMG with himself in it.
With himself as Captain Picard. Rip.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mass Effect. Don't forget Mass Effect. Right.
Oh, oh yeah, right.
Who was Picard in Mass Effect?
No, isn't it McFarlane was involved with that?
Oh, was he?
Was he?
Oh, maybe I'm getting this wrong. I'll have to go back and look into that. But
Good.
He didn't ruin Mass Effect, at least the first couple.
Yeah.
He wrote the ending to Mass Effect 3. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Also, we had a what do you think about 9/11? Sorry, I'm joking. Stay woke.
Yeah.
What I think about 9/11 is
hashtag vape queen.
Yeah, Tower 7 fell due to vape.
Yeah.
Vape went back in time.
Yeah. Fat clouds of snake leaf just blew the tower over.
Yeah.
It's pure potency. Okay. I feel ashamed of shit posting.
Never feel ashamed.
Don't feel ashamed, baby. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and sharing your Sunday with us. And I think, unless we got anything else to say, give it an LLAP. All right. Peace out, listeners and viewers. Peace.
Peace.
Beep.